Here we are. Bevo. It's a super large Bevo. Let's see what happens here. It says I'm live, so hopefully people will see it.
Bevo.
Let me know if anything weird is happening on your side, but I think we're good. I think we're good. It's been a while since I've been live, so...
You are live. You're in my subscriptions.
Okay, awesome.
So you're not stuffed up.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It feels good to be back. It's been like a month since we've been able to stream. I'm here with Pagey. So he's there in the background.
Bonjour.
We're going to be talking about Crisis Hours 4 and 5. And I mean, we'll talk about the whole thing. I think it's time to just... We might have time to cover the whole thing. We'll do what we can. And there goes an alert on my phone. I should have put that on airplane mode. Anyway, hello, everybody. There's a lot of people coming in. I see Markel Scott. Thank you so much for becoming part of Team Airrick. If you guys are interested in that, where you can get your badges and emojis, which I'll be uploading before the end of January. They're going to be really cool. You can hit the join feature at the bottom of the screen, whether you're on mobile or on the desktop. And you can see my review for Watchmen Season 1, which is already available for Team Airrick members. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take this picture down now, and we can talk. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Happy, let's say Merry Christmas. I don't know. Is that? Don't just say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas on Infinite Earths. So what an ending, Pagey. What an ending we had.
Yeah, it needed more Mia Smoke. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. We'll have to wait till next week for Green Eye and the Canaries to get our Mia Smoke content. But yeah, outside of that, it was pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah. I was actually really impressed. I think these 2 hours, even the Legends hour, was probably my favorite of all the 5 hours we had. Yeah, guys, I forgot. This is the first live stream for my new setup. So if you guys can see, I have stuff behind me now. It's at an angle, makes things look larger in the room. So instead of me pushed up against that wall like I was before. So anyway, yeah, so I think these are my favorite of the 5 hours. I would say probably outside of these, it would have been hour 2, maybe? I think it was hour 2. Was it hour 2 or hour 3 that we both agreed was the best of the first 3? I can't remember.
Hour 3.
Was it 3? The Flash, right? It was the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Flash, yeah.
Yeah, it was hour 3.
Sure it was 3.
Sam with the $2 super chat. War Stew was the best cameo. I didn't see that one. So
Well, he was the giant Bebo.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Or he could have been that weird magician robbing the bank. Whichever one you want.
What was it, Zargon? Is that a real character? I was like, is that a real
I
character?
couldn't even hear him when I was.
There was a weird thing with the audio. I noticed that the first hour of tonight, it was like the audio was super, super loud. And then in the second hour, it was like the audio was low, but the sound effects were loud. I don't know. It was weird. Did you have that when you were watching it too?
I didn't have it on my stream, but I saw a lot of people complaining about it on Twitter. Like some people said for the first 3 minutes they had no audio. It was just music.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So we have a $10 super chat from Connor Reed. Thank you so much. Sargon the Sorcerer, who is a hero in the comics. All right. Makes sense, I guess. Connor Reed with a $10 super chat. He goes, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Connor. I love seeing the Anti-Monitor becoming big. What were your guys' favorite parts? Also, I think they baited us with Reverse Flash. And what do you think some big changes will be? That's a lot of questions, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and answer them. He said I had no... Fresh Sounds Florida said they had no audio for an hour. Oh,
Jesus.
Hopefully they fix that on playback, because I'll probably go back and watch like the 5 parts again. So let's go back to Connor's super chat and kind of jump through this. It's a lot. Thank you so much again for the super chat. What were my favorite parts? I would say that cameo was probably my favorite part in the whole crossover. I think they did really good on keeping that secret, and that was something that I didn't even hear rumors about it. Did you hear rumors about that cameo, or?
The only thing... Okay, so there's 2 things. One, I heard there was a DCU thing here, but I thought it was going to be like the Titans thing. Well, you know, like they just show something from... Like they showed like Shazam catching the bus or something,
right?
Or something like that. However, I know someone that knows the a kid of one of the people that works on the shows. I won't say who specifically it is. I know who it is, but I won't connect the dots and get the person in trouble. But they said that there was a big there was a big moment in part 4 of the Arrow episode that was very Flash centric that will make people freak out. And I was told this at the beginning of December.
So the cameo must have been filmed at that point then.
It was filmed in December. Yeah.
Okay. So that would probably be my favorite part from the whole thing. What would you say yours is? Would it be that or something else?
Trying to remember off the top of my head. Obviously, Titans cameo just for the dub. And the L for certain people. I did like the Kingdom Come Superman stuff when he was there. I don't know. I don't think I'd have I guess just fresh in the memory. It's probably the Ezra Miller stuff, but I'm sure I just liked a lot of this stuff. I didn't really overly like something as like a 10 out of 10. I just liked the crossover as a whole.
Right.
No Iris.
So no favorite part. Also, do you think they baited us with Reverse Flash? I don't think so. I mean, there was a lot of hints that he was going to be in it, but I mean, if you were paying attention to the way the story was going, I don't think there was any chance for him to be in it at this point.
Once Barry went to the Speed Force and he just met with Oliver, and then he went on his way doing other stuff.
Right.
I think that pretty much cancelled out Reverse Flash coming in.
If that would have been the perfect opportunity for him to show up, would have been during that point.
That's when I thought it was going to be, and then when it wasn't there, I was like, well, it's not happening.
So, Double Crit, thank you for the support with the green name and being part of Team Airrick. I appreciate it. Victor D. Chinchilla with a $1.99 super chat says, is Superboy Prime coming to the Arrowverse? I doubt it, Victor. I mean, that's the thing where if they ever did that, that's another huge... I mean, they could do it for a crossover, maybe. What do you think? I don't think Superboy Prime would ever... I don't know how they would even work him into the show.
Yeah, I don't even know how they would do it. Like, if it was going to show up, it would have been in Crisis.
Right, yeah. And the last part of Connor's question was, what do you think some big changes will be? Well, Connor, we kind of know, based on the end, some of the bigger changes, but we'll get to those. So we're going to kind of go in order unless something pops up between now and then. So I'm sure you're going to stick around while this whole live stream is going on. So we will answer that as we get to it, because that's literally like the last thing that I wanted to talk about. So, okay, so we're done with the super chats for now. Somebody else has a super chat. We will answer it. But let's go ahead and talk about a few things. I have some notes here in front of me. So one of the things I was excited about going into hour 4 was the Spectre stuff with Oliver. So I was curious how they were going to handle it. I was wondering if we were going to get more information about it. And I think they did a pretty decent job of explaining what he had to do in the moment. I wish we could have gotten more about the Spectre, but looking back, I don't know how they would have fitted in to the shows. Like in terms of like how they did it. Were you satisfied with the Spectre stuff? Like the suit, the story, everything? Like how did you feel about that?
Yeah, like that. There's a lot of hoopla about like how they're doing Spectre and how he's being represented, but I think in regards to it being Oliver and stuff, I think they did pretty damn well. Like, and I think that battle he had with the Anti-Monitor, like I think that looked amazing. I think that's probably the best looking like shot. Like I think there's a shot in particular where it's like like those flames or that energy going around sort of dies down a bit. It honestly looked like movie level, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But I think if they dwelled on it too much, people would have been like, well, because the Spectre, like I think building that up, if they did it really slow, like they'd spend an entire episode doing it, and then maybe that battle isn't until like the beginning of part 5 or something.
Right.
I think it would have dragged on. I think you had to get just to the point of it.
So the only thing I hated, and I mean, you talked about it in a couple of your videos, and we've talked about it a bit, is I just didn't like the suit. I wish there was more to it, but I mean, he was on screen as a Spectre for like maybe 10 minutes total. So I don't think they wanted to invest a bunch of money in a much more, I mean, it was literally his suit with a bigger hood and robe on it or whatever. Were you satisfied with that? Do you think the suit was good? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I was fine with it. Like, it's what I thought it would be. I didn't think he was going to be rocking in a green Speedo or anything like that.
Yeah, I wish they would have put a little bit more like of the white touches on the suit, maybe just a couple pieces.
The only thing I really wish they would have done is that like had green eyes all the time, but I understand like it's really hard to do that.
Yeah.
Like if he's moving his head to track it, and like if it was contact lenses, it would look terrible. So
The fight was very Dragon Ball Z to me between him and Anti-Monitor. I was like, okay, here we go. But as far as Oliver's sacrifice, I think it was a fitting way for him to go out. I'm pretty happy with the way they handled it. I mean, they spent a lot of time in the second hour of this wrap up, dedicating it to Oliver. And it made sense because Sarah is on Legends and the last hour was Legends. So I feel like there was a lot of time dedicated to honoring the memory of Oliver, especially in the final scenes, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So I think I'm okay with this send off. I still feel like possibly his, like, I don't know. I'm not very happy with the way they handled his death initially. I understand they had to rush to it because it did have to happen the way it did, but I wish that would have been a bit more dramatic with him getting killed at the beginning, but I guess this was fine. Him sacrificing himself this way sort of makes up for it. But I mean, can the Spectre actually die? That's really the question. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like Oliver, we know isn't technically completely dead. He's
right
elsewhere, as we know from last season of Arrow. So
yeah, so that I'm going to bring that up now. It's further down in my notes, but I want to bring that up. Based on what we know right now of the Monitor, what happened with the Monitor, and what happened with Oliver, does the ending of last season's Arrow sort of tell us that Oliver is still around somewhere? Because Felicity went with the Monitor.
He's somewhere, but it's somewhere where he can't get out of.
Right.
It's like a retirement home.
So I'm guessing Felicity went there to be with him, and she's giving up the rest of her life to be with Oliver. Is what we're supposed to assume.
They sort of say they say that really at the end of last season. The Monitor pretty much says that.
Well, there are also people saying it's a plot hole because they say the Monitor technically shouldn't have powers anymore because of what happened with Lex in hour 4, I think. Where they went and talked him out of doing it.
What do you mean?
So they supposedly went back in time to stop the Monitor from doing what he did so that he wouldn't create the problem they're in now. And some people are saying the fact that he didn't do what he did originally, that it would change the events that happened leading up to him taking Felicity away to be with Oliver. But, I mean, if you look at it that way, then none of this would have happened. You know what I mean?
None of it like that.
So that's kind of why I was like, it's not 100% a plot hole, but I get what they're saying.
Well, it's more like that future that we had was for pre-multiverse being completely stuffed up.
Right.
So technically it makes sense, but just that now is Felicity dead. Like in that future that we go to, saying Green Arrow and the Canaries next week, is Felicity gone?
Yeah, so we got a super chat here from Ganger Venom, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Because the fight wasn't DBZ enough. I don't know. I liked it. I think they saved all of their money for these last 2 hours. I feel like they did. There was a lot of money spent on VFX and CGI. I complained quite a bit about the first 3 hours. I think they made up for it in hours 4 and 5. That's just me personally. I don't know if you feel the same way about it, but I definitely do. So we pick up with our characters inside the vanishing point, and the Flash he disappeared, and by his account he was gone for 20 seconds is what he said, something like that. And
I think a second. I think he said 1 or 2 seconds.
And it's been 4 months since they had been in there. Was that correct or not correct?
A month or two, because Kara goes for months.
Okay.
Not 4 months, but you've been gone for months.
Okay, all right. Okay, makes sense. All right, so they've been in there, so there's a weird thing going on there as far as time goes and stuff. And then the Spectre steps in and he's like, oh, I can, send you back in time or whatever through the Speed Force. And then we get this cool Speed Force thing where all the characters are kind of spread out and all this cool stuff. And we get probably the most exciting cameo that we've ever had on the shows. And it's not even because I like this version of the Flash. It's just so unexpected. First of all, getting the Titans and getting some of these other shows tied in, they're TV shows. So even if they're not on the same network, throwing them in there is fine. Some of the older movies is fine. I did not expect ever that we would see Ezra Miller's Flash having a conversation with R. Barry Allen. And it wasn't a short scene either. It was a full-on conversation between the two of them with a lot of really cool stuff. I was speechless. As I was sitting on the couch, I literally couldn't say anything for almost 2 minutes. And I love to talk. So for me to be quiet for that amount of time, it's like, yeah, something really happened. I was like, holy hell, it's Ezra Miller's Flash. They're talking to each other. The suits are there. They're talking about each other's suits. I thought it was amazing. What are your thoughts on that? What did you think when that happened?
When it first happened, because it starts with like Grant looking, and then like someone's talking behind him. I was like, "What's going on here?" Because I was trying to think who it was. Because at first I thought, is this the Reverse Flash thing? Because I thought it might have been Wells or something like that. And there was going to be some sort of Reverse Flash sequence. And then when you turn around, I couldn't believe it. I just stood there, not stood there. I just sat there, just like mouth agape, just like that. I was sort of speechless. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. Like the fact that they managed to pull that off and do all that, I thought was pretty crazy. Because the thing is that like obviously there's all like Grant versus Ezra, and one's better than the other. But like seriously, I think that pretty much has to die in a hole,
right?
You know? Like,
so I actually think that this adds more weight to the Flash movie coming out. I don't know why. I just feel like it does. Like, it feels to me like Ezra's committed at this point. And I give him a lot of crap for not being my favorite version of Barry Allen. But I feel like for him to do this, I mean, yeah, he was getting paid, obviously. But for him to do it, I feel like he's committed to the role. And,
yeah,
you know, I don't know. Marvel TV can never get any movie actor other than Samuel L. Jackson. Actually, that's not true. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had a couple of them. Lady Sif was on one of the episodes. There was another Asgardian that was there at one point. So they've had other ones, but they've never had like a star of a movie.
and they had the what are they called? The Captain America's crew.
Yeah, from the first
like
movie. Yeah. They've had them.
Howling
So they've
Commandos?
done it, but the Howling Commandos, I believe. But they've never had a main character other than Samuel L. Jackson, which
Like
is,
Captain America didn't show up.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
So I'm not going to criticize them too much. I think this was great for Crisis because when it comes to fans, I think this was these 5 episodes were the ultimate fan service, I think, for comic book fans. I don't think it gets any better than this, honestly. I mean, as much as I complained about the cameos and how much time they took and whatever, if you go back and you look at this, they really did their best to tie in as much as they possibly could. And yeah. So the Ezra Miller stuff, definitely. We got the backstory on the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor. I felt like that was a bit rushed. I mean, I get it. They didn't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I wish we would have gotten just a little bit more. I feel like they kind of sped through that as quickly as possible. So yeah. What? How about you? Monitor backstory, good, bad, indifferent.
I thought they would have spent like a bit longer on that because they like hyped it up, or not hyped it up, but they said like, oh, it begins and like, the whole episode starts with it. I thought, okay, but it's like it goes through. Like, was it like 2 minutes? It's done.
Yeah.
So I thought they would have done a bit
quick.
longer with that.
Yeah. A lot of people were complaining because Felicity didn't show up. She was mentioned, but she didn't show up. Obviously Reverse Flash didn't show up. There were people that were upset about
because
that.
they would have had to pay her for another episode.
Yeah. Also, what was it? I was thinking, now I can't even think. Now I'm drawing blank on this. The fact that some of the other characters kind of just vanished and didn't come back at the end. Like we didn't get to see a lot of the side characters, and people were complaining a little bit about that. And then, obviously Mia not showing up in the back half of this, of the second episode from tonight.
What?
Yeah, people thought Mia should have been there because if you remember,
people not thinking.
Well, we haven't gotten to it yet, but when you get to the part with the round table and the chair that was empty, a lot of people were saying they wanted Mia to sit in that chair. And I'm like,
oh god, I think I would have rather gotten some terminal illness.
Yeah, probably.
Rather than saying that.
Probably. We'll talk more about that later on. Let's see. So hour 4, I think, was my favorite hour out of all of them. I think hour 4 was my favorite, with hour 3 being the next one, and then hour 5. So those would be my top 3. I think hours 1 and 2 were kind of messy, a little bit to me. So how would you rank it? Would you be similar to that, or would you put another hour ahead of it.
Wait, say that again.
I said that my top 3 would be hours 4, hour 3, and hour 5. Those are my top
same.
3.
The last 3 would be my top 3.
Okay.
Like I think part 5. Part 1 comes close. Like part 2, I think is easily the weakest link.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think part 5 just beats part 1.
Okay.
Just.
All right. So let's jump in. We'll jump into hour 5, which immediately you find out it's a Legends episode. I mean, oh God, the giant Bebo. Like, we talked about this a little bit before we went live, and I just rolled my eyes. The hardest I've ever rolled them. I'm like, we're sitting here dealing with the aftermath of Crisis, and there's a giant Bebo walking down the street. Like, and then the fact that it was so meta. Is this always happened in the crossovers and blah, blah, blah. That just, it made me so upset. I was like, we were doing so well. And then we got to that. Luckily, though, the rest of the episode didn't feel quite as bad as that scene. But that was like, ugh. Like, I just didn't like it at all. Any thoughts on Bebo? Did you care about it, or was it not a big deal to you?
I'm just going to post a photo of the Discord thing here so you can have a look at it.
Oh, God. Do I even want to look? Oh, no. The selfie shot. Jesus. Yes, the selfie with the Atom and Bebo and the rest of the other characters. I realized that they wanted to establish that we were watching Legends, but come on. Like, come on.
How funny.
So, yeah, it was a bit messy for me in the beginning, but I think the rest of it was pretty good. I mean, again, it was probably my 3rd favorite out of the 3 hours that I listed. Ganger Venom with the $2 super chat goes, I would rather have Bebo than Mia. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll agree with you on that one.
I think everyone can agree on that.
Yeah. When I photographed that selfie scene, I had no idea what he was taking the selfie of. Okay. That makes sense. Canada graphs. And, what did Amethyst say? Oh, I just laughed. Yeah, I guess so. Laurel and Cisco should have been in part 5. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people were saying that these side characters were missing. And it just has to do with the way things are filmed. And they don't have room for everybody. So I will say that the Bebo CGI was really good. I think it worked really well. It didn't look too silly to me. What was it, though? Was it made of, like, goo or something? I didn't understand that. I thought it was a hologram, but then... Like when they defeated the sorcerer, it like turned into goo or something. It turns
like foam, yeah, like a foam or something like that. Yeah, I'm not so sure exactly what it was made out of.
So, but I think all the fight CGIs from hours 4 and 5 were both hours were really good. So I have to give them credit for that. Even the stuff with the monitor, when they had the big battle at towards the end of the episode with the anti-monitor when he came back, the anti-monitor, when he comes back and he like grows giant or whatever, that could have looked really bad. It was in the daytime, and we've seen like characters in CGI in the daytime on Legends look really, really, really bad. I thought that was amazing that that happened. And, that they were able to pull that off. Did you think the VFX for Anti-Monitor at the end were pretty good?
Yeah, I thought they looked. I think it helped that they put like that energy around him. Mm-hmm. I think that really helped, but I think it looked really good, right, especially in the daytime stuff.
Yeah. So, App Lifestyle, did you see my super chat? Did I? I don't know. Let me scroll back up because it's not showing up for me. Oh, okay, yeah, it's up here past the other ones. That's why I didn't see it. Would a 4-episode crossover been better? Yeah, they could have eliminated episode 2. Don't you think? I think episode 2 could have been put in between episodes 1 and 3. Or they could have made episodes 1 and 2 one episode.
Personally, I think it had to be 5.
You think so?
The story they wanted to tell. I just think...
Hour 2 was so weak, though. I mean, it was such a weak episode.
I think it was weak because of how it was put together. Mm-hmm. I think if it's structured differently, I think they should have just done all like. I know they have to like they love to cut, but I think like in cases like with the Kate stuff, mm-hmm, I remember there was like they cut 3 times when they could have just stayed on that scene, mm-hmm, but they kept going back to something. I think the main issue with number 2, I think, is actually the reviving Oliver arc. Because that cut up a lot of the stuff. I think if that's out and they do something else, where there's just more time with Kingdom Come Superman or like another scene with the Smallville Superman or another scene with Kevin Conroy's Batman, it turns into a much better episode. But I think the doing that reviving Oliver stuff, because none of it was really interesting. It was really Mia being angry.
Yeah, like
and
saying
then
the old
Barry
Batman
being
stuff was
stupid.
weak. That old Batman stuff was mishandled. It was so poor. I mean, it was cool to see Kevin Conroy, but I just didn't like the way they portrayed his Batman. And so, yeah, so I feel like, I feel like they could have done more with Hour 2. I mean, maybe keep it 5 episodes, but did something different with it. So, all right, so let's talk about, let's go ahead and talk about the fact that now all of our main characters are on one Earth. So the multiverse as we knew it is gone. So get Earth 19 out of your mind, get Earth 38 out of your mind. All of those are gone. And we have Supergirl, Black Lightning, and all of the Arrowverse characters all on Earth Prime now. So that's going to change a lot of stuff, as we know that Lex Luthor has made himself this like, people call him like the greatest guy ever and stuff. I don't know if that's going to be for Supergirl, if that's going to be for the Superman show. What do you think? Do you think that's going to be for Supergirl, or
It's on. I know he's in next week's episode of Supergirl.
do you think he'll stay there after the season, or will he move over to the Superman show?
He might stay there for like, they might do something like last season where he was there for 3 episodes. So they might do him until, or maybe not 3 episodes, but like an episode or 2, and then maybe he gets exposed and has to leave the DEO or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. Mark, pay attention. Earth 19, as we know it, is not there. Everything's been shuffled around. It's all different. I know you like to correct me because it's your thing, but I know what I said.
What did he try and correct you with?
He said Earth 19 is not gone. And I know it's not gone. It's been shifted. The way we knew them is it's different. So we have Earth Prime now.
Just like how Earth 2 is Stargirl now.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not that like steampunk sort of whatever it was. That sort of like 1950s looking.
Will any of this even matter though? I mean, I feel like they're erasing the multiverse for the Arrowverse, like so they can just do shows on the Arrowverse except for crossovers. That's what I think.
Say that again.
That I believe that they are shifting the multiverse so they don't have to do multiversal travel for crossovers. They can just do it all with the characters on.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly why they're doing it. Yeah. It's just easier to.
Yeah.
The big issue that comes now with it is like, can Supergirl just come help Barry if she's got the day off?
Yeah, I mean it does.
They are literally across the pond.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
As far as memories go, some people were asking about this in the chat, and I just want to address it. I think anyone who is a superhero or a superhero adjacent character will have their memories restored by John. I mean, I just feel like they will.
That's pretty much been confirmed by the trailers. Like Lena has memories.
Mm-hmm. So
and Mia gets her memories from Laurel. Somehow Laurel has memories.
Which is why Mia in the future may look different, but she's initially going to be the same. Like,
well, no, she's going to be literally a different character, and then because she gets the memories, she, by the looks of it, gets her abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it seems like. So it seems like Mia at the beginning is a completely different character, and then when Laurel gives her memories back, she gets like all the knowledge that she got from training before, and then from
Mark, stop trying to correct me. I told you what I meant. Let it go. Connor Reed has a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He goes, "Where's Accelerated Man now that Earth 19 is different?" He's gone. The Accelerated Man is one of those characters where everybody wanted him to do stuff and they never, ever, ever wanted to. Like, they never wanted to do anything with him. Imagine putting him in. If he could have been the Godspeed. Like, he could have been the character that came in and everybody was excited for. He could have been the Godspeed character. Do you think we'll see Accelerated Man ever again? Or is he in an apartment?
Oh, God. I have no idea. I think you got a better luck of winning the lottery than being able to predict that.
Yeah. Staggervorth, the 199 super chat. Not having Oliver for the finale was bittersweet. We're not going to have him in next week's episode. Wait, he's not in next week's episode at all.
Who?
Of Arrow, right?
Oliver?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just like photos of him, obviously. Yeah. I don't think he's in it at all.
Yeah, so that'll be the first time in the history of the show that I don't think he's been in the episode. Ever. So that's kind of interesting.
No, when he died?
But he was in the beginning of the episode, right? Oh, you're talking about from Crisis, right?
No, I think was it episode 10 of season 3. Was he in it?
At all? He wasn't even in flashbacks or anything?
I'm not too sure.
Let me see. Double check, or you could double check that episode and see if you want. Because I want to be
You know,
certain if he's... Let's see. I want to know for sure.
if he's in it, it might be his body. I think maybe at the end his body gets retrieved.
You're talking about Left Behind, right?
Yeah, I think his body might have been retrieved by Tatsu.
Yeah, I barely remember this episode. Oh, this was the episode where with the Atom suit and everything. Okay. Yeah, I kind of remember it. I think he was, I mean, at least his face was in it at some point, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Oh no, he's in the flashbacks.
Yeah, so he was in
And
it. He
then-
just wasn't. Yeah.
And then yeah, Tatsu gets his body.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, Masao finds Oliver's body
Right.
and brings it to Tatsu.
So
Okay,
this
yeah,
so
he's
this
in
will
it,
this
but
will
it's
be
not
the
that
episode
much.
where he just actually doesn't appear at all.
Yeah, he's
so,
not in it at all. Unless there's like some sort of there might be like a voiceover, like a voice message, but he's actually I don't think he's meant to like physically be showing up and going like hello.
if there's a video message from him to like me or something, that will count as him being on the show because that's how they do it. So, okay, Jordan Arnis with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. He goes, "How would you guys have done Crisis, and how would you rank the crossover?" I mean, the way they did it was fine. I don't think I would have changed much. I might have changed a little bit of the second episode. And how would I rank the crossover? I would do easy for me: hours 4, hour 3, hour 5, hour 1, and then hour 2. What about you?
4, 3, 5, 1, 2.
Oh, okay. And would you have changed
that-
anything at all or no?
In what way?
No, he says, what would you have done? Like the question was, if you have done Crisis, how would you guys have done Crisis? And I said, I probably would have done it about the same with maybe some changes to the
I
second
probably would have
hour.
done the same, except remove trying to revive Oliver because when you think about it, it was literally pointless.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was like so the whole thing, so they go to purgatory, but I think they could have done the whole him becoming Spectre as. Honestly, that would have been a bigger shock because it would have been, oh my god, he's dead, and then randomly he comes back as Spectre. Like for us, the audience, we would have followed it in the background with his like soul lost in purgatory between heaven and hell.
Yeah.
But to the outside, to like all the other heroes, they just think he died, and there was
Yeah.
no way to bring him back. So I would have changed that whole. I would have scrapped the whole trying to revive him, and honestly, they might have been able to spend some part of episode 2 with him in purgatory, and then right at the end, maybe the Spectre show or Jim Corrigan shows up
Okay.
or something like that. Yeah, I would've
Laura,
removed that.
Laura says less Lena and less Kate and Kara. I mean, those episodes. I think the problem was that Supergirl and Batwoman literally had nothing to do with Crisis at all until it happened. And then,
Yeah, and a lot of their scenes was just like Kate being like suspicious of Kara,
yeah.
which is hard to like.
I remember
try
that
and, like,
episode now, and that was probably one of my least favorite parts of that.
and it was hard to like be like, oh, I like this friendship. One person thinks the other is gonna kill them or something.
Shaninja with a £10 super chat and a £5 as well with no comment, but thank you so much. Your £10 super chat, you said, I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary anger towards Nash. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Earth started getting destroyed way before Nash ever did anything, as we saw him on Earth 2. Or with Earth 2. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on the anger towards Nash?
Well, only one Earth had been destroyed, which was Earth 2, and we found that was like a test run or something like that. So him unleashing the monitor, the anti-monitor, sorry, allowed him to like, was it start getting more powerful because he was actually starting to absorb the power from destroying the Earth. So I think that's what it was, or something along those lines. So yeah, Nash is to blame. However, also the monitor is to blame.
Right.
Like to blame, I think the monitor's probably more to blame than.
And here's the
than
thing:
Nash.
when Nash was pariah, he actually saved the Paragons. So I mean, I'm not saying he should be given a free pass, but yeah, it was a little weird that they were so upset with him. But I do believe that that is just setting up his character for the back half of the Flash. Like,
Yeah, I think there's going to be like dealing with the responsibility of all
right?
and stuff like
Do you
that.
think this is the final Nash we're gonna have now? He's gonna be the one that sticks around?
The final Wells.
Mm-mm. Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell because the multiverse is still there, and they can just pull one from like because you got to remember they didn't say there's 52 Earths. It's still like an infinite amount of Earths out there. So
yeah, I just didn't know if they were kind of done with that idea of bouncing Wells around.
it matters. Like I guess it matters what they want to do, what they do with Nash.
Yeah. So, should we go ahead and talk about some of the other changes? I think people are kind of excited about those. So, there's two big ones that I do want to talk about. The first one is the cameos, or not the cameos, the Diggle with 2 kids. So, we have 2 children now. We have a son and a daughter. How do you feel about that change?
Well, I think it's just fixing up Barry's Flashpoint disaster.
So do you think it's going to matter in the big scheme of things? Like, you think they'll come into play later on in the future or anything like that? Or
No, I think that's probably why they've done it because Diggle's pretty much a character that's gone now.
So they're basically giving Diggle the best of both worlds. They're giving him a daughter and a son and saying, this is your parting gift.
Yeah, it was sort of like a resolution sort of thing, like resolving all that stuff with that had happened previously.
Mm-hmm. So did Flashpoint happen? Yes, it did. Yeah, I mean, everything still happened. This is just a rewriting of reality. For them, like, Diggle remembers what happened, and now he has 2 kids. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like he's forgiving. I mean, Barry that went on for a really long time. Barry paid the price for that, as much as you could possibly imagine. So yes, Amethyst, the 2040 future will change. I just don't know if Diggle's kids are going to come into play. So, I mean, they might. I don't know. I just feel like it's a happy ending for him. So, let's see. The Superman having kids that are, like, older. What did you think about that?
I was surprised it was 2.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't too surprised by the older aspect of it. But I was surprised it was 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you think that it's not going to be that Super Son show that they're doing is just going to be both of his kids.
Right. So how do you think they're going to handle that in the show? Because this is definitely because of the spinoff. Do you think it's going to be training the 2 kids? Is that what it's going to be? Or
yeah, like, and I think just dealing with like 2 kids that are gaining their powers.
Yeah.
It's almost like Smallville, but in more, maybe a bit more of like a mischievous way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe they're a bit,
So someone says, how come Superman didn't know that he had kids or whatever? Why did he seem surprised? Because he never had to have his memory restored. Everyone else, like, actually the Paragons are at a disadvantage, I think, because everyone else that was still there, they lived in that reality all the way up until this point where their memories were restored, and now they kind of know both, I guess, right? Is that how that works? They kind of understand that the reality has changed and they have memories of both of them.
it's like an interlapping thing.
So I think the Paragons are at a disadvantage when it comes to it. Everyone that had their memory restored probably isn't. So Superman wouldn't have known about that. As far as Laurel not appearing in, Earth 2 Laurel, I agree. She was really strong in the beginning and then she kind of disappeared from the end. So who knows? I mean, obviously something's going to change because we see the 2040 pictures. I did a video on that yesterday. That Laurel is slightly different. No, because Alex didn't remember Crisis. What? Yeah, Alex didn't remember because Alex was part of that new reality. They haven't had a conversation about it because they haven't had time. So, oh Jesus, Dr. Strangelove, I'm not even gonna repeat. Let's go on with these notes here. So we had the cameos that we got that I could remember. I kind of wrote these down quickly. Is we had a Green Lantern thing at the end. We had Stargirl in the JSA or whatever that version of the JSA is. We had Swamp Thing. We had Titans. We had Doom Patrol, and we had Brandon Routh's Superman. Did I miss any?
No.
Okay. All right, good. Good. So this does confirm that Doom Patrol and Titans are on two different Earths, even though Doom Patrol was introduced on Titan season 1. And I know they were slightly different, but I mean,
they confirmed that a while ago.
Yeah, but I was thinking that there was still some confusion about it. But here it's clear that they're on.
Oh yeah, they made it clear to the audience.
Yeah. We also got Gleek. Yes, that was pretty funny. So now we have a proper Justice League, with the exception of a couple of characters that aren't there, like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. But it seems like we have the TV version of the Justice League. So does this mean that our crossovers now will kind of come from the Justice League taking on some threat? So we might get Darkseid at this point or something like that. I mean, I feel like the door's open now. They're all on the same Earth. So,
well, I think the fact that they're all on the same Earth now really opens up to them doing an Injustice League or something like that, where it's evil versions of all of them.
What about the Dark Knight's Metal, Dark Knight Metal storyline?
Yeah, but that's a mess. It was a mess in the God. Have you seen them still trying to make the Batman Who Laughs an actual character?
Yeah.
It's really bad. Like, I don't know why they just don't bury that and make it dead.
With his little Robin minions. Yeah.
Oh, it's really bad. But like they can make. I'm not saying like it's like an evil version of Grant Gustin or something like that. But they have like, they just get like they could get like Michael Rosenbaum to come back and play the evil speedster on another Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they could get whoever it might be to play like the evil Supergirl or evil Superman and stuff like that.
Yeah, Lone Wolf is saying like Red Death. Red Death.
Oh God. If I hear Red Death once more, I might chop my nose off.
So Connor Reed says a crime syndicate. Omega says Legion of Doom. I think all of those are possibilities now. Now that we have everybody on the same Earth, so
whatever they decide to call it, whether it is Crime Syndicate, Injustice League, or like a Legion of Doom, I think Crime Syndicate's probably the best way to go.
That's a good question, Shaninja. Will Cisco keep his powers from Part 3? I think so. I mean, I don't see any reason why they would take it away. I mean, they might for storytelling purposes, but I don't really see why they would do that. What do you think?
I don't know.
It seems weird to give them back to him and then just take them away again. I think it was stupid to take them away in the first place. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, we know why. I think they were sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place with that there.
Yeah. Let's see. Mike Horan with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He goes, late, damn it. Sorry, Mike. Ezra Miller, wow, wasn't perfect, but they made it work. Gives writers a fix to past mistakes. Weekly team ups now. Small World. Where's Eobard? Wow, so much there. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Let's try and get through these really quick. Yes, Ezra Miller, the cameo there was awesome. My favorite one of the whole crossover, even though I don't really care for him as Barry. I feel like he's definitely in it to win it. He's committed to the role, so I'll give it a shot. It actually sounds to me that they might change his costume as well, based on what he said to Barry about it being comfy. And I'm like, they might alter the Ezra Miller Flash suit.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the fan reception wasn't great for that. There's a lot of people saying, oh, the Ezra suit looks so much better than Barry's suit. I'm sorry. If you think that the current Flash suit is not the best one technically, then I don't know what you're watching. I mean, it really is, in my opinion, the best live action Flash suit that we've had. The one that we currently have. What do you think? Do you disagree with me of that or not?
No, I pretty much agree, I think.
I mean, the cowl is perfect. The chin strap is perfect. It fits Barry or fits Grant perfectly. By the way, happy birthday, Grant. I'm like an hour behind on East Coast time. Grant Gustin's birthday was today. Thumbs up in the chat for Grant's birthday. Weekly team-ups now. I don't know if we'll get weekly team-ups, but I think the possibility of seeing characters cross over for one-off episodes is much higher now. Would you agree with that as well? Except for Black Lightning, because they film in another state, in another country, actually. So, yeah. And where's Eobard? I don't know. Did you ever get any information on Eobard? I know you did a video about it, but I didn't know if you had heard something about why he wasn't there or...
I hadn't heard anything why he wasn't there. It was just that bit in the trailer. Like, I don't think anyone thought he was... There'd been no talk about him being in Crisis outside of that trailer that showed up. And you still like the... Because it's Reverse Flash in there. That's the thing. It's Reverse Flash in there. I've decided to put into the trailer for filler, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing I will say in the new Flash trailer, and I think it's a nice little touch that I want. I don't know if they even reference the episode, but
what is going on? Hello?
hello.
What happened there? Was that a hiccup?
I don't know. Is your stream lagging? I'm not too sure if it's lagging or not. Oh, yeah, your stream lagged.
Oh, it's still green over here.
I think you're all good now.
Yeah.
You're all good now.
Yeah, okay. That's weird. Was it anything was it anything I did? So I don't know. I'll type refresh if you can't see. Refresh. Okay, so finish what you were saying about the reverse flash thing.
It's just yeah, it's just obviously a bit from another episode they just chucked into the trailer for like filler, I guess you could say.
Right.
But one thing that's cool with the trailer for the Flash, which I think has like 2 episodes of content in it, that sort of like highlights the Earths merging, is that Cisco's wearing a Superman t-shirt, which I think is just a nice little nod to the fact that the Earths have merged.
You know, I forgot to mention the cool cameo we got at the beginning with Marv Wolfman, where he walked up and was talking to Supergirl and Flash and was like, "Oh, since forever, you guys have been teaming up forever or whatever." And I'm like, That's really cool. Like, I thought he looked familiar, and then I was like, that's got to be someone connected to Crisis or whatever, and ended up being Marv Wolfman, which I thought was awesome. Let's see. Did I miss a super chat? I feel like I missed a super chat. I did. Staggervorth, the 199 super chat, he goes, Lex might enforce the Legion of Doom. Well, it looks like Lex is trying to pretend to be a good guy, but we all know that's not going to last. So, Will says they couldn't make Diggle a lantern. So I think that ship has sailed at this point. If you ever wanted to see Diggle as a Green Lantern, this would have been the time for it to happen, and they did not do it. So, what do you think, Pagey? You think we'll see him ever suit up as Green Lantern at this point?
Oh, if they were ever going to do it, would have been then. Yeah, so I wouldn't be expecting it.
So, but they did show the Green Lantern world, or they showed a bunch of lanterns, and I think that's because of the HBO Max show. So, I mean, everybody wanted to see Diggle as Green Lantern. I think that he wanted to play Green Lantern at one point. He made a couple comments about it. Let me ask you a question. Did you guys miss Iris in the crossover? Let me ask that question. How many people in the chat missed Iris West Allen? Just curious. Just curious. No. Yes. Nope.
That seems like a sarcastic yes, though. No. The amount of exclamation points.
No. Jesus. Oh, James said yes a little bit. John says I miss Cisco and Ralph. Yeah, it would have been fun to have them there. Oh gosh, Jesus! Like so many no's. Somebody missed Felicity. Somebody says, I mean, this is your fan base. Of course they didn't. I don't know why you would say, like, I don't understand why people assume that because I don't particularly care for some of her storylines, that everyone that watches me doesn't like her. I think there's a lot of people that defend Iris when I say things about her. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, trust me, I know there's a lot of people that love Iris that watch me, because as soon as I say, I didn't like it when Iris knocked over that cup. Oh my god, 27 million dislikes.
Yeah.
8 comments.
Kenneth Crayley
needed to knock that cup over.
Yeah. Kenneth Crayley Jr. with a $5 super chat. Will 38 Superman get a costume upgrade? Well, here's the fun thing: is he's no longer Earth 38 Superman. He is the definitive Arrowverse Superman. Even though Brandon Routh's Superman had a really cool suit at the end of the episode, which we talked about that a little bit. That it was different from the Kingdom Come suit. It looked high quality. Brandon Routh moving on to another Superman movie. Are we getting a Superman Returns? Is he the new DCEU Superman?
Is that the new clickbait title? Or... Hold on.
Yeah, okay.
Reports coming in from England. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Wolster's taking that title. That will be his new video. It is going up in... Hold on, I'm getting the numbers in. Sorry, there's a delay because of the overseas connection. 10 hours. Don't 10 and a half hours. 10 no. 10 hours. 10 hours and that video will be up.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, no. Okay, yeah. He needs screenshots for the thumbnail. No, don't worry. He's gonna use some weird fan art that.
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
yeah. All good. Yeah. Okay, is that it? Yep.
Superman. You guys, what would the titles be for that? Superman Returns Again. Superman Returns the sequel. Superman Returns.
Superman re-returns.
Re-returns. Superman. Yeah. Superman comes back when he wasn't really gone, but he comes back again. Wait, are we getting 2 Superboy Primes now? Will one turn evil? I don't know if I said Superboy Prime, but if I did, I didn't mean it. Superman return. Oh, look, see, you're putting in that's that clever fan 4 stick writing there. That's good. So yeah. Superman Reloaded. Dara, you win. Ding. You win. Jenna James, you know exactly what we're talking about. No, we were not talking about Ben. Why would you think that we'd be talking about Ben?
Well, I could understand if people confuse me talking about Ben because.
Okay, true. You're always giving it crap. So,
I mean, Ben did put Ezra Miller and spoilers in his title.
Oh, that's true.
Before the episode was out in LA or England. So.
Connor Reed said, from the look of the Flash trailer, Iris might join Black Hole or become a bad guy to infiltrate the organization. Also wonder if she's going to be from the 30th century. What do you think about that? I know you mentioned it in one of your videos a while back.
I don't know that the trailer does show Iris going undercover. She's in like black leather, like edgy Iris. So right up your alley. It's Iris going into a biker bar, and I think that's where she's going to meet Amy Black.
You're still confused on why Clark didn't know he had 2 kids because he was not that Paragon. He was gone. He came back. Wait, that is a good point. Clark wasn't a Paragon. They screwed up. Right? Superman was a Paragon. Okay, so he said, somebody goes, I'm still confused on why Clark didn't know he had 2 kids. And I was saying it's because he was a Paragon. And yes, Superman was a Paragon, but not that Superman. Meaning he should have just remembered the normal change in reality. Not the memories that were given back to him by Martian Manhunter. Because he wasn't a Paragon. So he should have known.
I'm rewatching the scene now.
Sneaky. We're waiting patiently for Pagey to come back and tell us what actually happened.
Yeah, he said she goes, I need you to get something for the boys, and he goes, the boys, and then she goes, yeah, your 2 sons.
Yeah, so see, that would make sense if he was a Paragon because he wouldn't have the new reality memories. But this is the Superman who should have just been there. And Mark says John hadn't told him yet. But that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, he would already have knowledge of it.
So that's a plot hole. He should have known.
Yeah, unless. But then again, he doesn't go, my sons. I don't know.
I don't know. I got the impression that he didn't know that he had 2 kids.
It doesn't make sense if he knows she was referring to children. But she does say the boys, so she yeah.
It sounds to me like she was correcting him and he was hearing it for the first time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a confusing one.
Superman was made a Paragon in place of Lex. Nice try, Charmed. I don't think that's the case. That version of Superman was not a Paragon. So I'm kind of confused on that myself. So I don't have an answer for that one. People are saying that that CW doesn't like that version of Superman. They don't like Tyler's Superman. I don't think that's the case. I think that we're going to see that Superman become more important when he gets his own show. When he gets his own show and they do crossovers, he will be way, way more important than he is now. Right now, he is a secondary character on Supergirl. And I know that's hard to believe. It is Superman, but that's just the way it is. What is the point of having Nate in the crossover, let alone Legends, if he's not going to suit up and use his powers? Because Legends came in so late in the game, I guess they just decided it was no point in doing that, because we had Mick from the alternate Earth or alternate universe, and Ray. So those characters were already involved, and so there was no point in bringing in the other characters. It just would have been more people to stand around and punch shadow demons.
Yeah, I think that just the inclusion of Nate and Ava was just to have more Legends in the Legends episode.
Yeah.
And it's just to add some comedy to it, and just what they wanted to do there. I don't think there's no point really looking too deep into that.
Yeah, Superman and Supergirl are both part of this version of the Justice League. Yep. It says, Blackie Cat says, maybe John gave him the memories of the old Earth 38. He forgot the history of Earth Prime. I don't think that they forget, though. That's the thing, is I got the impression that they just remembered what had happened before.
Well, no, technically, it is possible that if he was given the memories, he would forget that he had two sons, because Lena thinks that Lex is dead in the trailer for next episode of Supergirl. But if she was always there, then he would always been alive. So there's a possibility that they were given the old memories.
That sounds problematic to me.
It sounds problematic, but if that's the case,
it also problematic. It's also stupid. If you forget what you've known all this time to remember a previous reality that didn't exist, that's an issue. That's a problem. Yeah.
Well, that's the issue of. It doesn't really make sense because the whole thing in the comics was that when they came to be in this new Earth, they had memories of just both. They didn't just remember one.
Yeah, and that would make sense. That makes sense. But having one or the other only, here's the thing: Martian Manhunter is coming up and giving them these memories they're not submitting to this, which is also very weird to me. John doesn't normally do stuff like that. Normally, he would give you the opportunity to say whether you wanted something like that done, like the idea of reading minds and dealing with memories and stuff. He doesn't do that lightly. So the fact that he's just walking up to people and replacing their entire memory with this other memory, and they're forgetting everything else that happened, that's problematic, because they could have an entirely different life and you just erased all of that. That doesn't work for me. It seems so stupid.
Yeah, but once again, we've got to take Eric. I need to tell you this once again. Don't get too angry about it, because
no, I'm not angry.
You get angry too quick, and then next week you'll be like, okay, don't worry, I got angry over nothing.
No, I'm not angry about it. I'm just saying that it goes against John's fundamental personality. He doesn't just do things like that, to people. I mean, look how much trouble it took for him just to do something when Supergirl was in trouble and people's lives are being threatened. He literally struggles with it. Walking up to somebody and just replacing their memories without their permission.
But I think this is different. You sort of needed to give them the memories back.
Yeah, but what if they are... but what I'm saying is, say, for example, you were one of the team members, right? And this alternate reality happened, and you got married, you were in love with someone, and you had kids together, and then you just walk up and somebody touches you, and you forget all of that. You don't remember where you live. You don't remember any of these other things in your life. That seems like
that's
an issue.
This is in the context if all is forgotten previously. I'm sure it'll be explained in the weeks to come. That's why I think it's important not to, because you're basing it off one quick scene.
Yeah, but if Lena remembered...
I know, I understand there's a point there, because I brought up the point with Lena.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it could be explained in more detail. That's the thing with, it's the example when people were complaining about how Lex got dropped off. They just dropped off Lex in this episode. I was because they didn't need to. There was more to they'll deal with that on Supergirl.
I hope you're right, because I think the idea of erasing someone's life just to give them back a few memories of a couple of battles, I have an issue with that. I think that's wrong. But it could be a plot point later on. Maybe it comes back in a few episodes and someone's like, you took my whole life away or something. Because they like to make John hate himself. So this would be a really good way for him to continue to hate himself if he's erased someone's life. I don't know. It just seems so stupid to me.
I think that's why I think it's just anything that's seems like a question mark on this, leave it for the shows to deal with, because they will either make it clear or if they don't make it clear, then it's an issue in that episode.
Okay.
So it's going to be one of the
We'll
two.
come back to this, guys. We'll come back.
It's one of those things we'll have to come back to. Because,
hang a hat on that, because we need to wait and see. Next week we'll have a better idea of what's actually happened.
Yeah, because I think it's pretty much just Supergirl that should make it clear.
So
the shows will have an effect on it.
$2 super chat from Zamageddon says, wasn't Reverse Flash supposed to be in Crisis? We've answered this a few times. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know if it was ever clear that he was going to be in Crisis. Yes, the article referred to it. And yes, there were some previews with like shots of him in or whatever. But I don't think it was ever concrete that he was going to be in it. Do you have anything to add to that?
Literally, there was nothing about him ever being in it.
Right.
The only thing we ever got was that thing from the trailer where it shows him running. But obviously, it's pretty clear they just took something from a previous trailer that whatever that maybe from season 1, and then they just chucked him in. They chucked that little shot into the Crisis trailer.
Right. So I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. I don't think there was, I think other than the article, we didn't know. But you know what? Here's the thing. If you're a Flash fan and you were dead set on that article being something we were looking forward to, then I guess you have a right to be a little bit upset that it didn't happen that way. But I think the whole point of the last 5 seasons of The Flash was to prevent that article from happening. So the fact that it didn't happen means that they successfully prevented it. Because I don't think, please let this article go away. Like, I don't want to see another picture of this article changing. Like, I feel like it's been something that stuck around for way too long. That's just my personal opinion. Your thoughts on that? Are you ready for the article to go away, or you want to see it come back? Like,
the article's in next episode.
Is it really?
It's in the trailer.
Well, it's probably because they're going to see that the Crisis changed the article. Hopefully that means that they don't have to keep going back to it, but we'll see.
I know it's an article about, it says The Flash returns, stops Crisis.
Oh, okay.
On January 14th, 2020.
Okay.
So it's an article written by Iris today.
Okay, good. All right, well, that's good. That's all I need to know. Anthony Salerno.
Oh, wow.
What?
Nothing.
Anthony Salerno, PLD, which I'm guessing that means Paladin, maybe. I don't know. Why were the new Earths at the end not numbered correctly? It's supposed to be a reboot, right? So why not go Earth 1, 2, 3, etc.? I think it was just because numbering them in order would have been boring. I think they wanted to try and do something fun with it. And, you know, I don't think there was, I wouldn't think too hard about that. And trust me, this is coming from somebody that thinks too hard about everything for these shows. 1, 2, and 3, I think if they just would have gone in order like that, it would have just been boring. So they're like, I think they were showing that they're back to an infinite number of Earths. It's just, they're not the same ones that we remember. The ones that we know are gone. They don't exist anymore. They're brand new Earths with our characters on them that from different shows and stuff like that. At least that's what I think. Do you have another explanation for it, or Pagey?
Not really.
Okay. We'll move on. Thank you for the super chat. Victor D. Chinchilla with a 199 super chat. Was Batwoman show affected as well? Probably not. I mean,
I don't know. I can tell you this: there's a freaking vampire in the next episode, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
So is that an alien?
Yeah. I was gonna say she may have different stuff to face off against, but I don't think her characters changed that much because she was the only one that was really involved. So I think that everyone else there probably is close to what they were. I kind of wish they wouldn't be. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we're going to get some major changes, but I can't say for sure. I think out of all of the shows, it might have the least amount of changes. I don't know what they're going to do with Black Lightning. I mean, are we just going to pick it up where it left off from him, or?
I don't know. I watched the trailer. It shows him, flying back to Freeland.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems it does.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get from a trailer. It's hard to get the context.
Yeah.
Especially when it's going to be like big changes. I'm sure they probably don't want to spoil that in the trailer, like the big talk about it. But yeah, I'm assuming there'd be some talk. I think Supergirl's the show to watch if you want to watch like the episode to watch. Sorry, next week in regards to like going over and discussing the changes, because I think the fact that Lex Luthor's in there, I think means they're pretty much going to.
I mean, if you think about all the shows, Supergirl seems like it's got the most to deal with because they were literally picked up, like the whole city was picked up and dropped on Earth 1. So
yeah, and also Lex Luthor is literally a 180 from what?
Yeah. Somebody said Shaninja goes, I heard Paige is going to upload his reaction to the new part crossover. Is that still true? I don't know. Is it true?
No.
Okay. Well, that answers your question. No, he's not doing it. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about trailers as soon as we wrap this up. Because there were a couple trailers that dropped, and we'll speak on them for a moment. Anything else you can think of? I mean, I thought it was a really good crossover. I think the last 2 episodes definitely sealed the package for me. I feel like it was very strong. And I'm really excited to see the changes they've made with all the characters being on one Earth. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I was happy with it, and I'm just excited to see what they do going forward, especially with like potential like mini cameos and stuff like that. Because the thing is, I think it's the only difficulty they're going to face now is with Supergirl. Well, sorry, not with Supergirl. With National City and Central City literally being like for the Flash, literally like 2 seconds of running away, and Supergirl at 5 seconds of flying. If there's big crap going on, is it believable that someone wouldn't help?
Yeah,
that was always the big issue. I think it was, or even if they were like across country from each other, if like someone was struggling,
yeah,
I think you'd help.
Or if for example, and I hate to even bring this up, hate to bring it up, but for example, if Supergirl was on Earth 1 when Cicada was doing all of this stuff, why wouldn't they just try and get her help? You know what I mean? Like, he's obviously, when they were fighting him, especially when she came around, Cicada came around. I know they said that, you know, that Supergirl or Superman lost to Cicada or whatever, but they would have still tried. At least I feel like they would have tried. So, yeah. JJ says, same thing in the MCU I used to ask. Well, it's different. We're talking about, like, if it's a localized threat, you're not going to just run to Supergirl every time. The Flash is still a superhero. He's still got the powers to fight people. But when it comes down to a threat that's big enough to destroy the world, it doesn't make sense that each individual character would do it without the help of another character. So, unless there's literally something going on the show that keeps them from doing it, you know, like the Flash is fighting something at the same time that Supergirl is fighting something, and neither one of them can leave it. That would work, but yeah. So Stargirl and Jesse Quick are on the same Earth. No, Jesse Quick is gone. Erased. I'm guessing they rewrote reality, so she's probably out there somewhere, but she's not on Earth 2. Why doesn't Batman just ask Superman for help with the Riddler? That's what I mean, though. That's a character why would he need help from Superman for that? I mean, it does make a little bit of sense, but then we have characters all over the world doing things, so it is what it is. I mean, my biggest thing was, why wasn't Kid Flash in the crossover? That's my big thing. Like, why not? What was he doing? Meditating or something? I don't know. Okay, so somebody was asking, was it a super chat or was it just a regular comment? Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I think it was just regular comment on how we would rank the crossovers. So are we talking about the mini crossovers too, or just the big crossovers? Let's do the big crossovers. What would be your order of the crossovers? Like if you had to rank them from worst to best.
From worst to best, probably the first one is probably the worst.
Okay.
Just because it's so basic. Like if you go rewatch it now, you're like, fuck.
You're talking about the ones that sets up Legends, right?
Shit.
The one that sets up Legends, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
The one where it's like Rainbow Raider and then Captain Boomerang.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Go ahead. That's true.
So
yeah,
it's probably that. Probably Legends of Today, I think it's called. Or Legends of, yeah, I think it's just like the one that sets up Legends of Tomorrow. Probably that. Then probably Elseworlds. Then Invasion. Then Crisis on Earth X. And then this one, Infinite Earth.
So you would rank Elseworlds below Invasion for you?
Yeah, Elseworlds, like really on retrospect, was literally just wasn't really. It was a crossover, but didn't really feel like an event. Mm-hmm. Like Invasion, I think, is better than Elseworlds.
So I would actually put my list. Wait, what did you have at number 1?
Infinite Earths.
Okay, so I would do the list just like yours, but I think from a story standpoint, I think Crisis on Earth X would have been my number 1, and this would have been number 2.
Ooh, Airrick is showing he loves Legends of Tomorrow because all the Legends of Tomorrow were in Crisis on Earth X.
I liked Crisis on Earth X because I think the story was more interesting. This wasn't really much, in my opinion, of a story. I mean, it was a lot of cool stuff, but it wasn't really much of a story. I think EarthX, we got Firestorm was a very emotional. I literally cried when Firestorm got killed off. When Stein got killed off, that never happened in this crossover. Yeah, it was cool to see Ezra Miller, but like I was literally crying over Martin Stein. I was like, I can't believe this. I'm that upset about this. So
you also did cry when Maxwell Lord left Supergirl.
I did, so. But you know what? Let's not put that out in the world, okay? Earth X had a big action scene in every episode. I also like the doppelgangers on Earth X. I thought it was cool seeing everybody, all the people that were doing the evil versions or whatever, except for Supergirl. I don't believe Melissa Benoist can play a bad guy. Her red daughter wasn't even that good as a bad guy. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Psycho Pirate. I completely forgot. That character wasn't even used.
I think it would have been sort of difficult to put him in outside of, really, he could have been in part 1 and that's about it.
Yeah.
So maybe they thought, what's the point?
Yeah.
But I think they shouldn't have been bothered with him in Elseworlds. Because I thought it was random that he was in Arkham for one.
Yeah.
But I think they probably shouldn't have bothered with him.
So CJ Rev with the $2 super chat goes, how did they go to Malthus if there was no universe? Well, I know normally I would, I was going to say, normally I would go along with you, but Oliver literally said, I'm unlocking your full potential. So he gave Barry a jolt of power that allowed him to basically break reality. And I mean, that was what the whole episode kind of was them running around picking people up from the Speed Force to fix everything. But it took Barry getting his powers supercharged for that to happen. I know it probably wasn't, they didn't hold our hand with that part of the story, but I give them credit for being abstract enough that I was able to understand that that's what they were doing. And normally I would take points off with it, but I got it. I understood it, but it is. Yeah, lazy writing. I don't know if it's lazy. Everybody wanted to see Barry get super fast, and that's what they did to him. It just wasn't running super fast. It was just him being able to do things in the Speed Force. Omega 311 with the 499 super chat goes, would you rather have them save the budget and do crossovers every other year, or do some of these watered down crossovers? I think I'll let you take it. You go first. What do you think?
That's not a thing. You don't save money year after year. You get a yearly budget. There's no such thing as saving because they get the money from advertisers. So they get the money to do the crossovers from the advertising through the thing. You know how much Boost Mobile would have paid? All those freaking Boost Mobile ads? They would have paid heaps to do that. They were sponsored throughout the entire thing from the first little ad that came out online to the last one. I think it was the last one. In the last ad break, there was a Boost Mobile one. So they get that money there. There's no such thing as saving the budget because they're given some money from the CW and then they get all the money from the advertising campaign as well. So you can't store money. It's not like saving for a motorcycle or something. Oh, I'll save $10 from this paycheck and then keep saving it up. It's just a yearly thing. You get the advertising money from doing each thing. So they could skip it. Then the next year would just be the exact same budget if they did it every single year. So there'd be no point in doing that.
So, all right. So I guess we're going to try and wrap this because we're already at an hour and 12 minutes. So I want to talk about a couple small things before we go. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. And I want to know everybody's rating. We're not going to rate each episode individually, right? I want to know what everybody's rating is from 1 to 10 on all of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Every episode as a full, one movie of all these shows together. What would you rate it from 1 to 10? Because I'm just curious. And you could throw in there why you would give it the score, whatever reason you think. But I'm just kind of gauging where people are at here. 10 out of 10 because of Bebo, really? 7s, 9s, 8, 7, 6, a 5. A 5 out of 10? Really?
I think that person's hating just for the sake of
That's two 5 out of 10s. I don't know how you could give it a 5, but you know what? It's your world.
Must be a depressing one.
6, a wasted potential. Wow.
Yeah, it just depends what your potential of it is, though. Because I think I still saw people complaining today.
A 4.
I still saw people to this day complaining, my expectations were higher because of this. I'm like, where'd you get those expectations from?
Yeah.
What were you expecting? And it's I was expecting Endgame. I was like, it's not Endgame. It's not Endgame. If you want Endgame, you want a different crossover.
Yeah. If you want Endgame, go watch Endgame.
I think for the
Like,
Crisis story, them adapting it to the Arrowverse,
right.
I think they did a solid 8.5. I think you can have an opinion, but it's a shit opinion. Let's be honest.
Oh God.
Like there's an opinion, and then there's just like one that just doesn't even belong in like in public. Like it's like having a, you know, when people have like mangled toes, wear covered shoes. Like don't wear flip flops. No one wants to see it. That's that opinion. So that's pretty much, yeah. So that's probably the best way to put it.
Oh God. Uh, all right, so jeez, you went for blood on that one. Okay, so yeah, the Flash isn't coming back till February, so we have to wait quite a while for the Flash to come back. All right, so let's go ahead. I'll close out the picture on that, and so quickly, I guess we'll talk a brief second about a couple of trailers. So let's talk about the first one. Let's do this one. We'll talk about Morbius first. Have you seen the trailer for that, right? The Morbius trailer? Okay. We'll go ahead and put this up. Okay, so the Morbius trailer came out. There's a lot of misconceptions about it. I see a lot of false news going around about Morbius or whatever. So I actually think the trailer looked really good. I think it's going to be an interesting movie. I think it feels like it has the potential to be something cool. You could tie Blade in with this. You could tie in the Midnight Suns with this. There's a lot of different things you could do with Morbius. And also there's a lot of people who seem to think that because there was a shot of Michael Keaton at the end that automatically makes it connected to the MCU proper. That's also not 100% true until Kevin Feige comes out and says that it's true. What did you think of the Morbius trailer?
To me, it was just like average. Like it was literally just right in the middle. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care more for it. I'll probably go see it. I won't be rushing out to see it. But I think it's interesting that they have Vulture in there. I thought that was just like, I was like, what the? So random.
Yeah. So the reason why that it's not technically in the MCU yet is because Sony, this is something that a lot of people don't get. Spider-Man and a couple of characters from his school and stuff are shared characters between Marvel and Sony. They've got the rights to use those characters so they can put them in the group movies. Outside of that, they're just in the Spider-Man films. So Vulture is a character, although he was in the Spider-Man movies, he's not an MCU character yet. He could be at some point, but he's not yet. So having him in another Sony film like Morbius does not necessarily mean that Morbius is now going to show up in the MCU. He could be in the MCU adjacent, which is what the Spider-Verse is, but that doesn't mean he's going to actually show up in the MCU. Does it mean that him and Tom Holland cross over? Yes, exactly. But that doesn't mean that that he's going to pop up in like an Avengers movie. So a lot of people are getting excited about that, and that's just not the case. It's more likely you're going to see him cross over with like Venom and stuff like that, but that's about it. So, and I mean, I'm going to go see Morbius. I think it looks like a cool movie. So, yeah, I give the trailer like a 7 out of 10. What would you give the trailer if you're going to rate it? Like average 5 or 6 out of 10?
Yeah, like a 6.5 maybe.
Yeah. So,
I did think it was cool, like the echolocation stuff. It's like visual. Because they easily could have just made, you see his eyes flicker and then he can do stuff. But they actually made it sort of visual, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so enough of that. So many people were asking me about it. I thought I would throw it up. That's all I really have to say about it. We'll see what else comes out. Brandon52 with a $4.99 super chat. He goes, what will be your next big crossover? I'd love to see Brainiac crossover, but I know that won't happen anytime soon. I don't really know what I'd want to see for a crossover. Now that we have a Justice League group, I feel like we could do any story, really. I mean, I'd love to see something connected to the Green Lanterns, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. A Legion of Doom, like a proper Legion of Doom would be cool. Not the one we got in Legends, but a legit Legion of Doom. What do you think? What would you like to see if we had have you had your dream crossover?
Yeah, probably like a sort of like a crime syndicate sort of thing. Just because I think you could get a lot of cool people to guest star as like the evil versions of those characters or the people that those powers, like an evil version of a speedster, like evil Kryptonian. various things like that. I think you could, like as I said, like we can get Michael Rosenbaum to play the evil Flash or evil Speedstone, various things like that. I think that'd be very cool, and you'd keep it condensed down to that main Justice League or quote unquote Justice League group, if you know what I mean. So it almost feel a lot like Elseworlds,
Right.
to some extent. But yeah, like I think that'd be pretty cool.
So I think that's where we're going to wrap this up. I don't really... Somebody's asking about the Birds of Prey trailer. I wasn't a big fan of it. It looks like Suicide Squad 2.0 to me, but I don't know. That's just me. We'll have to wait and see. I'm still going to see it. Even when I say that these trailers aren't great to me, I always go and see comic book movies. PN Mickey, Eric, why were you ranting about award shows on your Twitter earlier? Because people love to use that to justify why something is good or bad, and it just annoys me. It happens all the time. It's like, oh, this movie's great because it got like 20 award nominations. And it's like, that doesn't mean anything. You can love whatever you want to love. Nobody's telling you what's good or bad in your opinion. I mean, except for Pagey. I mean, Pagey tells people that all the time.
What do I say?
No, I said nobody should tell you what's good or bad for your opinion except for Pagey because you tell people that all the time. So
Yeah.
I was talking about award show. No, I hate award shows. I think they're horrible. So anyway, Dad, do you have any dad jokes to send us off tonight at all, or?
Yeah, I guess. What's one? What's the fastest way to stop an argument between a bunch of deaf people?
I don't know.
Switch off the lights.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Jesus.
I got another one. If you want
Oh,
one.
yeah, go for it. Why not?
Oh, I screamed out to the doctor. I went, help, I can't feel my legs. He came in, oh, that's okay. I cut off your arms. Oh, how good. How funny.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the new setup here. I'll have my video review for Crisis out probably on Thursday because I'm going to put this live stream up for you guys tomorrow for anybody that didn't get to see the whole thing. Pagey, your review should already be up, right? Yours is up now?
It is. So
Okay.
you can click it.
Yeah, go over and check out Pagey's review. And one last little shout out for my where's it at? Right here. It's right there. The little arrow pointing. There's a join button down there below. If you guys are noticing in the chat, some people have different colored names with little badges. You can become part of Team Airrick, and it's a way to support the channel. If you're not big on watching ads, you can do that, and it will help support the channel in a big way because YouTube loves to demonetize me. It's probably going to demonetize this video. I mean, that's the demonetization life for me. But right now, my Watchmen Season 1 review is up as part of the exclusive videos on my Team Airrick badge button thingy down there. And they'll be doing, early access things, and I've got emojis coming before the end of the month, and you'll get at least 2 videos a month behind the Team Airrick join feature or whatever. But don't worry, a lot of people are freaking out. My rant reviews, all my normal stuff for the Arrowverse and everything, it'll be up. I'm not going to put that behind the Team Airrick thing, so you guys don't have to worry about that. So anyway, have a good night, everybody, and I will chat with you tomorrow. And thank you so much, Pagey, for joining me. I appreciate it.
That's okay.
All right. I'm out, guys. Take care, and see you next time.